Just wanted to take you for a little whiz through my subscriptions, see what's coming through on the feed. These are some of the channels I'm subscribed to, like over 1,000 channels, because I really do like to see what's going on in YouTube land. We've got plenty of Hebrew channels here, getting all the latest spiritual advice from these reliable individuals, the rabbis. Weapons of the world, see what our tax money is being spent on. What else we got? Yeah, of course, a lot of stuff about the coronavirus. Theoria apophysis. Yes. Interesting man, this Theoria apophysis guy. He seems to have a lot of time on his hands for making YouTube videos. But at the same time, he's a photographer, always complaining that there's not much money in photography. And yet he's constantly showing off all the expensive new gear he's bought. So I don't know how that all works. What else? Patrick Kelly here. Yeah, Patrick Kelly, one of these free energy people. I have been for years covering free energy, or trying to, on my channel, and really just come to a lot of dead ends with it. I tried to befriend and gain the trust of Thomas Bowie, and that was very difficult. It was difficult to get in touch with him, really, and I did speak to him a few times. But then he just disappeared. Actually, he disappeared into a little sort of secretive group that's being run by Patrick Kelly. And I'd say to Patrick Kelly the same thing that I said to Thomas Bowie. If you have free energy plans and free energy information, you know how it's done, then you must supply us with a proof of concept plan. Don't show us how to run up, a whole house. We can't do that. We're not professional engineers. You need to show us how to get one tiny LED to run permanently without going out and just running off this free energy. And you have to be able to build it for less than £20 and make it out of easily obtainable materials. Okay? We just need proof of concept. That's what we need. Secret history of World War II. Will they tell us? I mean, if it's secret, how come it's on YouTube? That's the first question. But will they tell us if World War II was real and Hitler was really against the Allies? How come that Hitler, he had the most advanced submarine fleet in the world? Why was he attacking merchant shipping in the Atlantic, when what he really should have done is just cut the undersea cables which provide the communication between Britain and America? There's undersea cables connecting Britain and America. They've been there since Victorian times. All Hitler had to do was cut those cables. I mean, it's impossible to defend. There's like 3,000 miles of cable there. It's impossible to defend. All Hitler had to do was sever those cables, and the alliance would have been completely scuppered. But nobody has addressed that question. Alright, here we go. Let's go down here. What we got? This guy, check this out.
Good vibration.
This guy, Mark Devlin, he is your Tavistock handler for the conspiracy theorists. Mark Devlin. Alright, Mark Devlin, the down-to-earth English bloke. Hello, I'm Mark Devlin. I'm an ex-DJ. I started to smell a rat and realised that the music industry was corrupt. Tell me, Mark Devlin, how the fuck were you a professional DJ flying all over the world if you weren't already part of the Illuminati? There are no real professional DJs in this world, unless they're doing sort of like, weddings and stuff, like one of those kind of DJs. There aren't any, just like there aren't any professional golfers. All these people. You know how much it costs to become a professional golfer? There's millionaires out there, and they go to the golf club and everything, and they have to and yet these professional golfers get to play it all the time and get paid. Well, the reason is that they're already rich before. Just like there's no genuine grassroots tennis players, professional tennis players. And also, I'd never heard of Mark Devlin before he came out as an ex-DJ. It's Mark Devlin. Mark Devlin is 100% Tavistock. I guarantee it. He's got Santos Bonacci on and Charlie Freak, right? Talking about veganism. He's also a flat earther. Both flat earthers. So yeah, he's a Tavistock guy. Fake ass punk scene. Here we go. Brandon Martin. Martin, a crypto Jew name. And this guy, Hapanwo. Hapanwo, this is what's his name?
Ladies and listeners to the Hapanwo Show on Hapanwo Radio. I've got another guest back. He's been on a few times before, and he's on again. It's Mark Devlin. Hello, Mark. Welcome back.
Hey, Ben. Good to be back, as ever.
Oh, mate, good to have you back on. How's things with you?
Well,
This Hapanwo bloke, 100% he's bent, a corrupt Jew himself. So yeah, this is all pure mind control. Mark Devlin now. Mark Devlin also was pretty big on. He was friends with Crow 777. Crow 777 definitely an occultist. If you want to know the reason that the crow is the occult symbol of change and all that lot, I made a little video about it before. This Blue Horizon Jeff Bezos spaceship. Here we go, Blue Origin. You see it is called Blue Origin. Blue is the color of Shiva. He was blue, supposedly. And this is a phallic spaceship, right? It's shaped like a dildo because the phallus is a symbol of Shiva. And on the side of it there you could see a black feather. That's the raven feather, the raven's feather. So it's this guy. And these are his people. You'll never believe who these are today. These monkey folk. He's still active in the world today, this guy. Remember, they say that we're in the Kali Yuga when Shiva is prevalent. Crow is he is a demonic leader of the Illuminati, probably still, alive, like reincarnated many times since then, and a devotee of Shiva. His name was Ravan, which is raven or crow. Of course, 7 is Shiva, the 7 is the G in Freemasonry. And it's also a scythe, which is Saturn, or the destroyer, Shiva, same character. There we go, Paul is dead, this silly conspiracy with Paul McCartney. It was a rumour that was circulated by the Beatles themselves. Nick Colostrum, I don't trust, even though I think his heart's in the right place. I think he's a drug addict. You can see the way he's always twitching and shaking. And he's a conduit for disinformation, let's say. I've read Nick Colostrum's book as well. There's no evidence in it at all. So Mark Devlin, throwing you in the conspiracy bin because you are Tavistock. There's no way you have the time to make all these shows and have a family and have a full-time job, as you say. You're full of it. You're a bullshitter. I think the clue is in your name, Devil. So this is the phallus. It says to get into heaven in the Bible, it says you must be one-eyed. Well, the phallus has got one eye. All right, and the phallus here is shooting up into heaven. It's going up into space. You must understand, these people, this man is a Jewish rabbi. Okay? When you turn on the computer, when you switch on the TV, the news, everything is a sermon from the priests. It's a sermon, it's mass. Let me try to explain. Let me try to illustrate this a bit better because it sounds crazy. Mass. Mass is the main Eucharistic liturgical service in many forms of Western Christianity. The term Mass is commonly used in the Catholic Church and the Lutheran Church. I mean, they're supposed to be antithetical, but there you go. As well as Anglican, Methodist, I mean, for goodness sake, and old school churches, right? Etymology. Let's get into the etymology of Mass, find out what it means. The English noun Mass is derived from Middle Latin Missa. The Latin word was adopted in Old English as Massa, and sometimes glossed as sendness, sending or dismission. The term Missa itself was used in the 6th century. It is most likely derived from the concluding formula ite missa est. Go, the dismissal is made. Missa here is late Latin substantive. So, important thing here is, it says here, it is most likely derived. Well, don't you think that's a little strange? I mean, the church is only 2,000 years old, and it was formed in the Roman Empire, and they had writing, they had lots of books, and they were very meticulous about their records. So the idea that the actual etymology and the meaning of the word mass is it is most likely derived. So they don't know, they're speculating. That's strange. I tell you what, I think mass means max. I think mass, if you look at translate, this word mass means more. And when I was studying Spanish, I kind of figured out that this must have come from max, the Latin word, because it can mean most or more. So it's like max, maximum. And in Italian, I don't know if they have this word masso. It seems to mean something else in Italian, but if it were in Italian, it would be masso. The X would become a double S, and in Spanish, it's become a single S. So that's why I think it's called mass, because they get all the incense out. They have the organ going. They get all the costumes going on. They get the golden stuff, the golden, objects out. Imagine medieval peasants used to go to mass, and they spent all week, in poverty, digging up turnips in the mud and the dark, and then they go to church, and there's incense, and there's the organ, there's music, they never heard anything like it. They're maxed out, you see. It blows their mind. And it's known that if you want to, you give a sermon or reading from the Bible, if you want to really get that into people's minds, if you have moving music accompanying it, smells and bright colors and everything, that it'll be more effective at going into your, more persuasive. And that's today, that's the rabbis, they run Hollywood, and it contains all the elements of mass. When you watch a Hollywood movie, it's got all the music, the powerful music, the emotional, the music is conjuring up emotions. You've got all the fantastic costumes and the bright lights and colors, and you've got a story, and these stories are often very similar to the stories from the Bible. They've got a bit of sex, they've got a bit of murder, and so on, and then they have a kind of moral message. So when you go to the cinema, it's basically modern day mass. That's why they're quite happy to let the church lose followers and go by the wayside, because they've moved on now. They have modern technology. People are going to the cinema, or they're just watching movies at home, watching their mobile phone on the bus on the way to work or whatever, and they're getting maxed out, and they're getting these messages, in exactly the same way, in more effective ways, all the time. See, in the medieval times, you only had to go to church once a week. Now, people are constantly getting sermons delivered to them through their mobile technology, their smartphones, and their laptop computers. It's called Hollywood movies. It's called TV. It's called Netflix. And if mass is max, because they're giving you the max, maxing out your senses, should be no coincidence. These IMAX cinemas are appearing because this is iMass, you see. Everything's like iPhones. You used to have a phone, and now it's called an iPhone. Well, you used to have mass, and now it's called IMAX. Right? Look, these are the pews. This is the church. These are the pews in the church where you sit. And then the screen at the end there, that's where you get your sermon. That's where the Eucharist and the Mass. And you know, when you're sitting down in the pews, you can have some nachos, can't you? Well, that's the communion wafers. And then you can have a Coke. That's the communion wine. So these pews, and there's the altar up there. And you're going to attend Mass at the IMAX. That's what I think. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please leave your comments in the section below, and I'll catch you next time.